A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadan Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam bi madadakum wa nazarakum Sayyidi ya Rasul Kareem ya Habib Azim. Subhanana wa ishfanana wa abiduna bi madadakum wa nazarakum. Madad ya Sayyidi ya Sultanul Awliya ma Shaykh Abdullah Faiz Dagestani, Sultanul Awliya Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Azal Haqqani, Mawlana Shaykh Sham Kabani, Shaykh Adnan Kabani, Shaykh Muhammad Adil, Abd Khaliq al-Khuj Diwani, Sahib al-Wasf Sayyid Muhammad al-Mahdi alayhi salam, Ruhullah Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Saifullah Sayyidina alayhi salam, Thumma Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Uthman, Imam al-Haq alayhi salam, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, Sayyidatina Fatima alayhi salam. Wa fi barakati Laylatul Mahdi alayhi salam, fi barakati wiladat Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, a blessed weekend. And we pray that Allah dress us and bless us from these tajallis, from these lights and from these blessings. Wa sayra wa sadatina wa sidqina al-Fatiha. Ya Rasul Kareem. A'udhu billahi minash shaitan excuse me. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadan Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Man abduka al-ajizu da'ifu miskeen zalim al-jahal. And but for the grace of Allah that we are still in existence. Alhamdulillah for Mawlana Shaykh's teachings and the immense blessings of the mid-Ramadan, the night of the 14th of Ramadan and this weekend. Wherever you are on this globe, tonight, tomorrow night is the middle of Ramadan, and also in the spiritual realities they call Laylatul Mahdi in which there is a spiritual association, Jabal Ghaysoon mountain where Shaykh Dagestani's Zawiya is, and in spiritual realities and association with pious souls to receive the Muhammadan isharat and guidance that this nation is a guided nation. Not by the physical guides and not by those whom sold the deen and not by what people understand, but there's a spiritual command, and that spiritual command guides the nation, guides the lights and the realities that save the nation and sustain this nation and sustain all of creation by the power and the might of Allah. He doesn't leave shaitan to destroy. Shaitan operates within a parameter and with the permission of Allah, the permission of Sayyidina Muhammad and by the permission of awliya. Means that shaitan's rule has to have a permission, not that they authorize it but in a sense that they understand what shaitan's doing and where his limits are. He doesn't operate in an energy outside of Allah's permission, he's under the dome of authority. And as a result they watch what he is doing, and as Allah describes is that they plan, the shayateen plan, and Allah's plan is supreme. Allah wa Jalalihi, the one whom writes the destiny for all creation, all universes coming into existence and going out of existence. The Muhammadan Sultanate is the authority for all of creation, everything is under La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. The reality of Imam Mahdi is the Muhammadan Hadi, the Muhammadan guide, the most guided of the Muhammadan reality, and Warith al-Muhammadiyah, the pinnacle of all sainthood and the one whom represents the holy hadith in which they fulfill their mandatory worshipness and they approach Allah with their love, with the non-obligatory. Means they complete their fard and they do extraordinary worshipness in which Allah will dress those servants with His seeing, with His hearing, with His speech, His touch. Means all of what we described of Hadith al-Qudsi is a Muhammadan dress from Allah. Sayyidina Mahdi salam represents the most perfected of that dress, the one whom represents most perfected the Muhammadan eyes, the Muhammadan ears, the Muhammadan speech, the Muhammadan touch, the Muhammadan movement and the Muhammadan guide. The purest reflection of the Muhammadan reality that's set as a guidance upon this earth. And these are the times of Imam Mahdi, these are the Mahdiyun times in which the earth is cast into peril, to despair, to deceit and deception. When you feel and see the earth is filled with injustice, corruption, violence and harm, then the nation must know that they are under the guidance of Imam Mahdi salam. This is a spiritual guidance in which should reach the hearts of those whom are sincere. And awliyaullah have a responsibility to bring people back to the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. If not for the love of Sayyidina Muhammad they're on the wrong channel. Means that our life for us to understand by analogies is that people listening to the wrong channel, the wrong information, the wrong coordinates and the wrong understanding. How then can they receive an isharat, a guidance, a whisper into the heart of what to do right and what to abstain from, what is wrong, what pleases our Lord and what displeases our Lord. And the responsibility of pious people and those whom follow these pious people whom are Ahlul Dhikr, Ahlul Tasawwuf, the people whom cleaning themselves, not cleaning others but they're busy cleaning themselves, their hearts, their consciousness, their realities. As a result of being busy trying to clean themselves, the shaykhs are inspiring within them is that increase your love for Sayyidina Muhammad. People hear the nasheeds and in the comments the new people, why do you talk so much about the Prophet? And because they don't know that the deception that coming upon the earth is that everybody will be talking about God in different names. Everyone will be showing that they know the way to God, they know the way to eternity and they know the way to the heavens. And these coordinates that come for us is these are stations that will take you to where Allah was angered or where they have gone astray. The only station that broadcasting from the heavens to this creation is the Muhammadan station, the Muhammadan reality, the ishq and muhabbat of those whom love their Prophet, their Messenger. And as a result what you focus on focuses on you. When they teach you to make your salawats, listen to these nasheeds, make your own nasheeds, push out the articles about this love, means your whole ocean, your whole reality as if you're in a Muhammadan garden and you're pruning the roses, cleaning the roses, and as the sun is shining upon that garden you are being fragranced by the beatific garden of that Muhammadan reality. Those within that reality who make it their life to propagate the rose, to fragrance this earth with the rose, to teach people about the Gul Muhammadi, this beatific way of loving Prophet. they achieve a beatific fragrance. Those whom feel they can lift themselves from their disease and from their sickness, they have lost their way, lost their understanding. And awliyaullah come into our lives and they teach by analogy. If you truly believe that the ego of people is like an animal, and the things that we do of badness and incorrectness gives birth and begins to form that animal. As a child, that animal is very serene, very angelic like a bird. So many times the child may have a nafs like a bird, praising, singing, making sounds that everybody finds to be cute like the singing of a bird. And as the nafs of an individual grows, the animal that accompanies them is changing. With the discipline of the parents, with the love of the parents, with the guidance of Islam, with the teachings of what Allah has brought and taught to Sayyidina Muhammad to depart upon his nation, that creature should be of a tamed nature like a beatific cat, an obedient creature, beatific creature. And the majority of creation now at 99.9999% their creatures are of a rotten nature. Their creatures are like rats, dirty, spreading dirt, like fox trying to trick, or more like hyenas. If you watch how a hyena kills a creature with a horrible way of killing, horrible way of dismembering, or like a dog of a wild nature, a gorilla, an ape or a chimpanzee. If you imagine that we feed this nafs and those whom are coming new and those who will make the reals, the why we need Muhammadan Rasulullah because you have made your nafs into a gorilla, and not your prayer and not any of your actions, not your hajj, not your sadaqah, not anything you do is going to diminish that gorilla to a state in which you can conquer it. So then you visualize, for those who need to visualize and understand, the people who come new they have a 600-pound gorilla. Even not new, they may be in tariqah for many years not listening and have bad manners and fight with everyone. Their gorilla is 600 pounds. And you think, okay, I'm going to clean my gorilla by my salah, my zakah, and they visualize themselves as if they're showering in the shower of realities and that they're going to rid themselves of that gorilla. But what actually happens is that gorilla is the one whom is going to be showering you, and that gorilla will wash you and scrub you with every type of difficulty because you're not washing it, it's washing you. And if you agitate it too much it's going to begin to scrub you as if you feel your skin is coming off and people run. You're not diminishing your demon and you're not diminishing your beast, because what you feed to the beast is far more often than the small acts that people do here and there. Your salah, your gorilla is praying with you, sitting right behind you praying. So as soon as you finish your prayer it comes out and beats 2-3 people with his tongue. You go and do something charitable and the gorilla's angry the whole time that you're trying to do something good, and again attacks somebody as soon as those acts are done. Because many people have to understand, even when they sit for zikr they can't even last to get home before they complain. They'll complain about the food, the company, the talk, the association, everything. And these are tariqah. And imagine those outside of tariqah have no sense of cleaning, no zikr, no practices, They merely accepted Islam, their guerrilla accepted Islam, and they're sitting in for Jummah. And the one giving the Jummah is the biggest guerrilla, the worst of them, the meanest of them, because masjids and most of these masjids are not a house for Allah in which you can praise Allah and make dhikr of Allah. These are the houses of nafs and bad character, that people get together to control people. So then the one on the minbar may have a bigger beast than everyone else in that room, and then what happens? Their beast gets stronger. The beast is learning to pray, the beast is learning to do all of the practices, but yet is still more powerful than the servant. And when you come to realize that you can't take away your bad character, you cannot wash away the guerrilla that you have built for 30 years. That's why you see people, they have accepted Islam and they still remain within the horrific character. They dress their Islam. So now the guerrilla is wearing kufi and he wears his clothes, but he's yet still angry. And awliya come into our lives, La ilaha anta subhanaka inni kuntum mina dhalimeen. Admit to yourself the majesty of Allah and that verily we are an oppressors to ourselves. And only those who admit they're an oppressor to themselves, Allah grants a najat. Only those whom admit at night when they go into sujood that I heard what they taught, Ya Rabbi, and I have a guerrilla, have a beast that is controlling me. I do good things then I get angry, I go out and try to do charity and then I get angry. I talk with people and I dispute and I get angry. And only those whom Allah is asking the tariqah doors, La ilaha anta subhanaka inni kuntu mina dhalimeen fastajabna. Means if you truly believe you are an oppressor to yourself, and then you're reciting the verse that Allah will grant a najat to mu'mineen. Means then you have to have a state of belief for your najat to come. How do you get belief so that Allah grants you najat and salvation? Prophet described, if you want to believe, not just you accepted Islam, is that you want a state of belief, is that you have to love me ya ummah. And you people who like to fact check, go back and find out what did Prophet described as faith. When he talked to Sayyidina Hazrat Umar, Ya Umar, you have to love me more than your father, your sons and yourself. So love of Sayyidina Muhammad grants the nur of Iman so that we can receive the najat. That Allah will grant the najat to the mu'mineen if they have a faith. Their faith is that they love Sayyidina Muhammad, and that's why then every teaching now begins to open. So, oh, I'm not going to control that beast because I just want the beast to go, because now he's washing you. You notice if you try to do too much outside of our teachings, who don't know our teaching, they actually start to get hurt by their nafs. The nafs actually starts to beat them and to put them into difficulties and hardships. And Allah's formula was not, you are not going to do this by yourself, you're not a person that's been left alone, you are part of a nation. And that you have to be under the guidance and nazar, under the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُبَيِّعُونَكَ يُبَيِّعُونَ اللَّهَ yadullahi fawqa aydihim. Your hand was never supposed to be by itself, yourself is not represented by anything. But shaitan took pieces and pieces and pieces, so now we're an unconnected group of people. But not the tariqas, because they have to have their bayat, their hand has to be upon the hand of the shaykh. The shaykh hand is upon his shaykh, his shaykh, his shaykh, all the way to the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad. And they're Ahlul Basira, there are people whom their hearts see, and every time they make their bayat they see their hand upon the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad. As a result they bring people back to the love of Prophet, and as a result of coming to that love, what happens now in the spiritual realm? That when you profess a love that, I want to be with you Sayyidi Ya Rasul Kareem, you be with whom you love, is the response from Prophet's hadith. People say, oh this is like word salads, because if you don't have a brain then these words seem like a salad to you. But if you have a brain and a heart that works, these words come together like a tasbih for you. And this tasbih you can use, but no brain, these are beads. They tune in and they say, what are all these beads? So the problem not with us but the problem with you. The only way the brain opens is by light within the heart. Because the first zikr, La ilaha illallah, turn off your head, open your heart. When that begins to open they begin to understand that when they come to the love of Prophet his holy light begins to intercede for them. Only the nur of Muhammad is that when you come into the presence of Prophet by every durood and every salawat, that Allah will send your reality into the presence of Prophet and that Prophet will look to the beast and begin to burn it. Only the nur of Muhammad can burn that gorilla, burn that lion, burn that dragon, burn whatever creature you've made it other than a noble creature from the Divine, the Presence. Burns the evilness, shahidan mubashiran wa nadhiran. Allah says in Qur'an that Prophet he is witnessing over his nation. What does that mean? Means that when you come into that spiritual realm, even you don't know it, you don't have to know it, every action that you're doing you're sending your soul into a spiritual realm. When Prophet is in that realm and you have a love, shahidan, his nazar immediately hits upon your nafs and realizes that gorilla has to be burned. Mubashiran, begin lights flowing out, those lights burn that creature. Nadhiran, begin to inspire into the consciousness of that servant, don't do this but do this, don't do this but do this. What you listen of halal and what you abstain of haram becomes the energy of your reality. Inspires within your heart, do the goodness, do the good actions, make your reality based on love. Abstain from every badness, abstain from bad character, and as a result the servant is now really growing. They realize, La ilaha anta subhanaka inni kuntu minadh dhalimeen. If a Prophet of Allah is giving this ayatul kareem, but was the Prophet Yunus, Sayyidina Yunus giving that, glory be to Allah and that I'm an oppressor to myself. What do you think for normal people? When the Prophet of the Divine is giving to us that, glory be to God, and know that we are oppressors to ourselves. Those who don't know they're oppressors to themselves, they make all sorts of ridiculous comments, why? But all that you're doing is giving away that you think you can actually resolve this issue on your own. And without heavenly support and without the support of Allah Izzati wa Jalalihi, Allah's support never comes to the servant without the key of Muhammadan Rasulullah because He wants you to need Sayyidina Muhammad. If He gave it without that, then everybody would prosper and they would not say Muhammadan Rasulullah. And Allah wants the servant, I hear you, I'm closer to you than your jugular vein, but you have not recited the right words. That you think you're going to do this on your own, but no. And the servant will come across and hear and come towards guidance and realize, no, their way for their salvation is, La ilaha anta subhanaka inni kuntu mina dhalimeen fastajabna najana minal qawm. The only way to receive their salvation is to be mu'mineen and to have belief, and they begin to accept Muhammadan Rasulullah. So then you see the mission is then propagate the love of Muhammadan Rasulullah. Now is a time in which to throw out keys everywhere. The nasheeds that we produce and the nasheeds that other people produce and the nasheeds and articles and reels that everybody's producing is fill all of social media with beatific nasheeds and praisings upon Sayyidina Muhammad. Take words from Dalail Khairat, take the words from the teachings, take all these beatific words, make them to be pleasantly melodious and let them enter into the hearts of people like a laser. People used to fight with arrows, then they thought themselves to be clever and they fought with bullets. And then from bullets they said, these are expensive and it takes time for it to hit somebody. Now in this day and age they're going to fight with light, they're going to fight with lasers. So why? Because the laser can hit you in a matter of a second or less than a second. From the top of the skies they can shoot down onto the earth within a second. But this is a guidance for people who understand these are signs of the heavenly kingdom. Not what shaitan is producing but what Rahman is opening. Open your lasers, open these lights and these realities and this love. And as soon as you put these beatific words with the beatific soft melody that's pleasing to the heart and not agitating to the heart begin to open with the vibrations and the words begin to penetrate like a laser. And lasers into their heart, lasers into their brain, and they begin to remember the love of Muhammadan Rasulullah as this world begins to open many doors to La ilaha illallah. Everyone going to claim, they're saying it in different languages. One saying, he knows the way to God, the other one says, I know the way to Allah, I know the way to Elohim. They're all saying the same thing, but the only way is La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. And as a result this is the way of the Mahdiyun. That these holy nights, when they tell us these nights are coming, these nights are coming, people think, okay, is this night, is it that night, is it at 9 o'clock, is it 11 o'clock? Look, you still have a gorilla, don't worry about that. Your gorilla not going to let you go anywhere. That's not about you achieving anything. It's for you to know that these nights come, these nights have immense blessings, and what gets you into that association to be under the nazar and the lights of these associations is your khidmat. It's not you, it's not you sitting somewhere perfectly timed at 11:25 that moon is going to shine. And what you going to do with that? What takes you into that association, what takes these awliya into their association is their love. Their love took them there, their love keeps them there, and their love is the sign of their khidmat. Means when they have this immense love, what radiates from them is their service. Because that which you love you serve wholeheartedly. You know how often do you think of Allah? Then know that Allah thinks of you. How often do you think of Prophet? Then know then Prophet thinks of you. You don't think of Allah except for prayer time. then Allah doesn't think of you except at prayer time. You don't think of Prophet except 2 days before Milad, then they don't think of you before Milad. And then how often do you think of your shaykh? Then know that how often you think is how often he thinks, because you be with whom you love. How can you not show love but expect love? How can you not show support but expect support? So it's not the timing of these events, oh I'm going to be there, you're not going to be there like that. The way that people are dressed by these realities is their khidmat, their service. They live the life to serve, they live a life to show their love. In every action, in every moment they're showing their love, they're showing their connection, they're showing all that they have within their heart is for that reality. And as a result every time the shaykh is entering into these tajallis, he's presenting the khidmat of his students. That what he brings is the khidmat of his community. That when they call you, when we see these presidential meetings, secretary this, secretary that, what they want to sit on the table for? He sits with them on the table to say what? What did you have for lunch? What did you do last week with your kids? Or each of these secretaries sit on the table to describe what have they done, what have you done with what we have given to you, how is the nation being served by what has been inspired within you. And every association is a time for them in their spiritual reality to present, we did this, we're doing this, we're inspiring this, we're trying to bring people back to this love, back to this ishq. And within everything they're presenting, every action of every individual khidmat is present. It's not something can be understood, it's not something forgotten, because Allah is the best of those to keep a hisab. When a shaykh appears as if his ship appears, every passenger that performed the khidmat is presenting that khidmat in that reality. All of them are presented to Sayyidina Muhammad, presented to Sahib al-Waqt, Sahib al-Unsur, Sahib al-Imdad, the one whom now is supporting the entire reality of this earth, Sayyidina Muhammad al-Mahdi salam, all Ahlul Bayt, all holy companions and all awliya fi samai wa fil ard. They're all looking at the khidmat. And for us just to understand is that the shaykh appears like a loaded ship, and every soul that he represents that's serving, each one of those lights are coming out and presenting their service. The shaykh doesn't just show, he shows up with a bouquet. Each of the souls of those who served are a bouquet of flowers that are presented to their presence. That's why they ask is to serve, participate. You want the nazar, you want to be dressed by it, it's not you doing a zikr at a specific time and did nothing. They don't even get past the security of that reality. But make yourself to be a part of the bouquet of the shaykh that he's presenting. That under your leadership you have inspired these people to put these beatific realities out, beatific projects out, beatific representation out. In the midst of every difficulty, every expense, every hardship, every distraction that dunya offers to people, these people stop and they do these things. Day and night making things, producing things, putting out oh the list of everything that being inspired. These are the bouquets that at every opportunity, at least 3 times a week on the milad, these bouquets are being presented to Prophet. Otherwise we said, why are they going to grant you to sit at the table? So, oh because I want to tell you what I had for dinner with my family. Who cares? The seat at the table is the khidmat. Is it, what do you have for us this week? So the report we have for this week, this beatific bouquet. Look at all of these beatific. Every video you watch brings tears into your eyes, every reels that you hear brings the love and a fragrance of Sayyidina Muhammad, 30, 40, 50,000 people using the app to read their awrads, their zikrs, maybe catch a video and fall in love with Prophet, and books and articles and productions, everything. These are the bouquets presented at least 3 times a week, every holy urs, every waladat, every occasion possible of feeding thousands of people, giving medicines to children whom are sick, giving food and distributions to parks and wondering, am I going to get anything for this? Yeah, of course you are. You're going to be one of those roses presented in that bouquet to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. And for Laylatul Mahdi most urgent and most significant, that what are you doing to improve the conditions upon this earth that we described before. Sayyidina Mahdi not coming as Jesus Christ, he has nothing to do with that. He's coming as the Muhammadan authority to bring back the nation to the love of Muhammadan Rasulullah. So then anyone wanting to be from that reality, then you would suppose they're trying to bring people back to the love of Muhammadan Rasulullah. He's not Shia and dividing the community, he's the one who comes to unify the community under the banner of Muhammadan Rasulullah. So the way of Mahdiyun is the way of love. Spread the love, spread the reality, spread the light, spread the hope. Every type of negativity and barking of wild dogs is a beatific rose from Sayyidina Muhammad, not for the people but for that table and that association in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, the fragrant rose, the fragrant reality. And what we do is not for the people, what we do is for the heavens. If the heavens are happy and the heavens are happy with these actions, they fragrant our heart and our souls. And when that fragrance comes back, it immediately dresses all the souls that the shaykh is carrying of that reality. And those of those souls who khuluqul mashhoon, every khidmat they did is a direct fragrance onto their reality. Not one soul is forgotten of what its khidmat and its service was. The only one who has to worry is that you're with the shaykh and you lack any service. You take a barakah, take a blessing, but you could have presented a flower to Prophet, you could have presented a bouquet to Sayyidina Mahdi. These are opportunities that are lost. These are fragrances and realities that are lost for those whom they take the barakah, they're on the ship but seem like they're sightseeing. They don't really want to participate too much, no problem. But those who participate know that your khidmat is never lost. It is a beatific flower. That flower is presented as an amanat from their soul. It's not something forgotten. Allah said, do you say that in Sayyidina Isa, you know what I said when I was amongst them, because Allah is the one whom writes it, not the shaykh has to write it. Allah writes the action you did for the intention that you wanted, immediately that rose is presented for us to have an analogy to understand, and immediately it is presented. It's not something that can be withheld, it's not from the lips of the shaykh, it's from the very nature and the reality of the soul, that you carry them as lights within your soul. Every action that they do is written and manifested upon that reality, and that is what is presented to their realities. We pray that Allah give us a greater understanding, inspire within our hearts to do good. Don't lose opportunities to do good, don't lose opportunities to be known, don't lose opportunities for your khidmat and your service, and that service produces the beauty and the fragrance of our existence. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammadin Mustafa بسر سورة الفاتحة. شبه يوسف كده. آمين يا رب العالمين. InshaAllah, alhamdulillah, take these playlists, take these nasheeds and spread them everywhere. Nobody has any excuse, my friends they don't like these teachings. Everybody likes sound, so send them sounds. Don't sit down doing nothing. This is a way of doing things, this is a way of spreading things. We change the algorithm of people. When you take one of the nasheeds and send it, they're going to see now 10 videos of shaykhs right behind that because it's coming out of Naqshbandiyya. So there's a hikmah, if you get your brain out of the way the system works. As soon as your brain gets involved, ya Lateef, we're all stuck with the gorilla and wondering how to deal with that gorilla. So that's also a nice video. When you think you can get rid of a gorilla, this is how the shaykh sees somebody. Somebody asks, "Shaykh, how do you see people?" Not me, I'm nobody, I'm a donkey for them. Remember one time in Salah in Ramadan with Mawlana Shaykh, with praying in our tafakkur, and for instant we looked with our physical eyes and everybody was different. This not, your surah is not what you think you are. When I looked, these were, it looked like Lord of the Rings, old ancient souls. Who are these guys? Oh, big beards and ancient looking people were all praying behind Mawlana Shaykh. So your reality has nothing to do with the car you drive. And even worse is that people whom are not practicing, the shaykh sees the animal and the animal is the one that he has to deal with. So they say, "Oh, you shaykh don't smile, he's straight like that." Yeah, because he sees a bunch of beasts. Nothing to smile. When a 600-pound gorilla is looking at you, it's very difficult to smile back. I've seen like on these shows, there's a person in the bushes, very funny, it's a wild gorilla. And oh look, I can feed this gorilla. The gorilla's about 5 seconds away from ripping your face off. He's an animal and he's a wild animal. If he picks up any type of wildness in you, in 1 second that gorilla with his hand can pull the skin of the face right off. So you watch these people in the wild think that they have like they can tame a beast, they're just foolish creatures. But the reality of the shaykhs, they see the beast in people. And that's why they're telling people, make your salawats, make your durood. And many people really think that they're going to go back every night, they're going to clean the gorilla. So now the gorilla's in the shower with you, I'm gonna wash him away, Ya Rabbi make this gorilla go. He actually just scrubs you harder until you feel this path is hard, I'm so much, I'm hard, and they run away. Yeah, because the gorilla he's going to give it to you. Until you realize you're nothing, you're not going to take anything away. It's not your awrah, not your dhikr, nothing. Just listen to the shaykh and go into the presence of Prophet with your durood, with your salawat, with your good actions, your love, and let Prophet take one look at the gorilla and begin to burn it, and then burn it, and then burn it. And that's why the talks, that's why the associations is burning. So inshaAllah